We're back at Investor Townhouse headquarters in San Diego, California. I'm your host, Daniel Wong. On today's program, we have CEO of Myomo, Paul Gudonis, on the show with us today. He's going to be telling us about the historic, raise they did here with the Reg-A Plus to IPO and now trading on the NYSE underneath the ticker symbol MYO. Paul, thanks so much for taking the time with us today.
Glad to be able to meet with you and your investors.
Well, what I'd like you to do first is congratulations on all the success. Let me start out with that. But can you give us an overview of the company for people who might not have heard about the business yet?
Sure. Myomo, which stands for My Own Motion, is a commercial stage medical robotics company. We have the only devices that enable individuals with paralysis from a stroke, a spinal cord injury. They're left with the inability to use their arms or hands. And by using our lightweight wearable robotics, we enable them to function again so that they can cook for themselves, go back to work, and live much more independently.
Amazing technology, really helping people out with that need. So obviously this was very attractive for investors to get involved with. What do you think was the big attraction for investors participating in helping fund this special project you have here?
Well, to this point, we've raised almost $24 million privately from venture firm, Mountain Group Capital, family offices, and private individuals. And we licensed the patents from MIT, so we have exclusive rights to the patents. And for the last several years, we've been conducting a successful controlled introduction. We've shipped hundreds of devices. We've had them reimbursed by private payers, approved by the VA medical system. And after this successful introduction, we're now ready to scale up the business. And so that was very attractive for investors who are looking for a growth company in a very exciting space, because we really operate at the intersection of two very exciting fields, neuroscience and robotics. And we're addressing a very large unmet need. Millions of people worldwide left with paralysis after one of these neurological conditions. And they've been told up till now, if you haven't recovered after 6 months of rehab, get used to it. That's the way it's going to be for the rest of your life. And now we're enabling these individuals to function with their arms and hands again.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm changing people's lives with this technology here. So I can see why people would be so interested. Now, you did the traditional financing rounds, but you also participated in a Reg-A Plus. Tell us about that experience there.
Well, several years ago, Congress approved the Jobs Act, and then the SEC published the rules so that smaller growth companies could access the public markets. So we felt we were ready to do so as a company. And looking at the Reg-A Plus rules, there were several distinct advantages for a smaller firm. First of all, there's a no quiet period. So in a traditional S1 IPO, companies are limited to what they can say to the public. So under these rules, we can get the word out. And so we did through social media, through LinkedIn, through even radio ads to inform people about Myomo. And number two, we could attract a much broader investor base, because a Reg-A Plus offering is not limited to just institutional and accredited investors. We could reach out to the general public. And as I point out in my investor presentations, if you know 100 people, you probably know someone who has paralysis of the upper limbs that could benefit from this product. So many people invested because they understood that they know somebody like this who has MS, ALS, or some other type of condition that they want to be part of growing this company and reaching more people with our products.
I think that's a great comment you made. A lot of companies look to find out if this would be a good fit for them. But since it is something that really hits home with a lot of people and they can have that true, genuine connection to it, definitely got a lot of people to invest in the company. And I'm sure they're really looking forward to getting to be part of the success.
Yes, we are looking forward to that as well. With the proceeds we raised in the IPO, we're now investing in increased sales and marketing here in the United States. New product development. We just introduced the MYO Pro 2, which is the next version of our product, which offers increased functionality, lighter weight. You can use it all day with a pop-out battery system, because people are using it that way to go at home or at work. We're also launching additional clinical studies to support our reimbursement efforts. And next month, we launch in Germany with our distribution partnership with Autobach, which is a worldwide leader in prosthetics and orthotic technologies.
Amazing. So if people want to find out more about this product, where do they go? Is that the website we have posted over there on the right-hand side?
Yes. So there's information on the website, Myomo, MYOMO.com. There's also a link to our investor relations site, We're traded on the New York Stock Exchange MKT, which is their smaller cap exchange, under the trading symbol MYO.
Perfect. Now let's get back to some of the key components and partners and drivers that you worked with. Obviously, there's a marketing team in place. There's a platform. Tell us a little bit more about that and your experience.
Sure. About a year ago, I interviewed investment bankers, and we selected TriPoint Global Equities out of New York City as our lead banker. And then we put together a team which included CrowdFundX, which is a Los Angeles-based digital media firm. So they handled the publicity to get the word out to the crowd. We used Dwayne Morris as our SEC counsel, and together with our banker, and they have an online platform called Bank, BANQ, where individual investors could go to that site, see our investor presentation, have access to all the SEC documents that we filed, see videos, and then place orders in the IPO if they chose to do so.
Perfect. Oh, well, we've had Darren on before, and we know CrowdFundX has done a tremendous job, and so's TriPoint there with Mark, and definitely Bank is an interesting platform to get people onto, and so happy that you had such a great team behind you as a driving force to really have the success that you've had.
Well, with that team, we were able to raise $8 million in the IPO, and so that gives us the funds to make the investments I was talking about, because now it's about growth. We've proven this out in terms of the technology delivers value for patients, and now we're ready to go scale it up, and that's what the use of funds is primarily designated for.
So going through this raise, what were the challenges that you experienced on the way to finishing and completing this fund?
Well, part of what we put together through our investment banking team was a group of broker-dealer firms who then marketed the offering to their client base. Some of the firms weren't familiar with Reg-A Plus yet, and because this is relatively new, and also we're the first company to qualify to be listed on a national exchange. So there's a lot of education to do of these broker-dealers, even some institutional investors. We're not familiar with Reg-A Plus, but as we pointed out, once we're on the New York Stock Exchange, which we are now, it trades like any other nationally listed security. For investors, by qualifying for the New York Stock Exchange, that provides significant disclosure, safeguards for investors. That's a great brand name. And to be qualified for the New York Stock Exchange, we had to raise a certain amount of capital, have a certain amount of stockholders' equity, but also agree to all the governance standards. So Reg-A Plus enables companies to have various levels of reporting. We chose the highest levels of reporting, so we'll be a full reporting company, quarterly, annual statements, other regulatory filings that are required. In addition, we'll do regular communications with our investors, and we have an independent board of directors. 4 out of our 5 board members are independent directors. Several of them are personal investors in the company as well, and they staff all the required committees, the audit committee, governance committee, and the compensation committee. So investors should feel very good that there is a very strong independent board of directors looking out for their interests.
Well, Paul, that looks like about all the time we have for today, but I want to congratulate you and thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to us about your experience and share with us your company. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, that was Paul Gudonis, CEO of Myomo. They trade underneath the ticker symbol MYO on the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Tune in next time.